hello, and welcome back to the Burnt Pancakes podcast. I'm your host, Katie Fensky, and each week I'm reminding you that everyone burns their first pancake. Today, I have a really special guest. Her name is Kaylee Isbell, and she is the founder of Isbell Family Films, a company dedicated to helping families preserve the magic of their everyday moments through beautifully edited films. Her journey began in the midst of her postpartum depression when she found solace in editing home videos of her young children. As a mother navigating the challenges of caring for newborns while feeling like she was falling short for her toddler, she discovered an unexpected source of healing that was seeing her family's stories unfold on screen. Kaylee is passionate about helping parents see themselves the way their children do, loving, present, and enough. Through her work, she continues to bring joy and perspective to families, ensuring their most precious moments are cherished for generations to come. I loved this conversation with her because I, like probably many of you, have billions of videos and pictures on my phone, and I just don't know what to do with them. Her company is there to help families create beautiful videos from those, and I think you're just going to love the tips she gives and her story of motherhood. So please enjoy my podcast with Kaylee. Kaylee, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm excited to talk about what you're doing because I could use your help with all the millions of videos on my phone. I have so
Perfect.
many.
That's why I'm here.
Well, why don't you start off by just sharing where you're from and how many kids you have?
Yeah, well, we live in a suburb north of Austin, Texas called Georgetown. Really big growing area. And I have two kids. My son Jude is 9 and my daughter Ellie is 7, almost 8.
Oh, so they're off in school right now, huh?
Yes, yes, the best.
The glorious
best time
few
of day.
hours. Yes, the glorious
Right.
few hours when they're there. Okay, so you had your postpartum journey is what sparked the creation of your company, the Isbell Family Films. Can you tell us a little bit about what your postpartum experience was like?
So my kids are 20 months apart, which, if I was going to go back and redo that, I would not have chosen that. It was hard.
Was that planned or because I know people who want kids close together?
Yes,
For some, it just happens.
I thought I did, but I was young and naive, and it was hard. Now, being a little bit older and having older kids, I definitely would have done that differently. But yes, it was on purpose.
Are they 1 grade apart or 2?
Yes. So my
Okay.
son is the oldest in his grade, and my daughter is the youngest in her grade. So they are going to be bumping up right back to back from each other.
Okay. But that was a lot when they were little.
It was.
Because how old would your son have been? Your son was how old when your daughter was born?
So he was 20 months. So he's born in September and she was born in May. I could be wrong at this point.
Yes. I picture being pregnant with such a little one. Like
yes. Yeah. And and he's very active and loves to run around and do lots of things. Yeah. So he was very busy and we were, trying to do all that. But
oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, it was quite a lot. But so they're really close. And at that same time when I was pregnant and I was in like my 3rd trimester, I was almost due. My husband decided to change jobs. So he went through a career change. So that was its own level of stress. And then I had a baby. And my daughter, God love her, she was the worst newborn on planet Earth. It was just terrible. And she, from the moment she came out, cried every hour on the hour, she had really bad reflux. Like she needed to be held, upright all the time. I think in those first 3 months or so, I maybe got 2 hours together of uninterrupted sleep all day long.
Oh my gosh.
So then
that will kill you. That will destroy you.
It'll make you crazy. Like I didn't understand the meaning of like sleep. And my son was a great newborn. So I think that's also why I had them close, because I was like, oh, this is great.
Problem.
I can do this newborn thing.
Boom, there's your daughter.
Yeah, right. That's how it always goes, right? Yes. So she never slept and never napped. And he started to not nap as well. And so I was just going
a zombie.
Yeah, I was going insane. And he also at the same time started to develop a lot of difficult behaviors that were hard to manage. And turns out we found out later when he was 4 that he's autistic. And so, but I didn't know that at the time. And so we were really just I was just drowning, absolutely drowning. And, you know, it was just really hard. We didn't live near family, and I was working, and we were trying to like figure out how to make all this work. And so it's just super, super hard. And everyone's saying like, oh, just wait till she's 6 months. Just wait till she's 7 months. It'll get better. It'll
Get here now.
Yeah, right. And
Now.
it did get better, right? And that's always what, you know, in hindsight, when you have older kids, you're like, oh man, those 6 months were so fast. But when you're in them, it's like
Oh, the
trudging through
longest.
mud, you know, like
Mhm.
it goes so
Yeah.
slow. And so yeah, so we made it out. And but yeah, I spent that whole time, you know, those 6 months, 7 months or so, just was really depressed. I knew it, but didn't know it. And so I was having such a hard time. I felt like, why did I have this baby? I ruined my son's life. Like I can't even be
Mhm.
with him because I'm holding her all the time and taking care of her all the time. And yeah, you know, that just puts you in a really hard place. And you're already so vulnerable anyway,
Right.
because
And
you,
then you feel guilty for thinking those things and feeling those.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. It's just like
Did
that push and pull of motherhood where
yeah.
it's, you know, you
Did
feel
you
one way.
ever
Yeah.
bring this up to a doctor or like
Yes. And
okay.
and so with my son, I had a little bit of postpartum depression. So I went on anxiety
Okay.
medication, you know, after postpartum with him was great, was fine. And so with her, we like prepped it with the beginning,
Got it.
like towards birth, it was like, okay, I'm going to go on this and be ready. Um, but you know, at the 6 week appointment, right, when they're like, oh, how are you feeling? I'm like, good, I'm okay. Like I
Yeah.
can survive. But then it was like, got worse and worse and worse.
Yes.
And then you just get kind of stuck where you just
Yeah.
don't know what, you know, you don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I felt like I was doing as much as I could, but you know, looking back, there's always more when you're of sane mind and sleep.
Right.
When
Right.
you're sleeping
Well,
through the
someone
night, right?
said like one of the torture um strategies, when people are torturing people is to
Yeah,
not let them sleep. And I'm like,
right.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That
Like
would do
loud
it.
music that you so
Uh-huh.
you can't sleep, so you
Baby
got a new one in
screaming
your
and not
room. Yep.
sleeping. Boom.
Right.
Recipe for disaster right there.
Yes, right.
Um, oh gosh, yeah. Looking back, yeah, I like feel all of that. It's like
Right.
you go through that and you get through it, but you're like, oh yeah, it still sticks with me.
It's still
So
there.
yeah, how did that spark your interest in film and did you have a background in film? What?
No, I have no background in film or video editing. It's all self-taught, self-learned.
Okay.
I consider myself a creative person. I always had some kind of creative outlet. I have my degree in education. I was a teacher,
Oh,
and
same.
yeah, oh nice. Yes, so I taught elementary school for a year, hated it, and then I moved and taught junior high, and I loved that. So I feel like it's, you know, you're one or the other, but
Hmm.
I was doing all of that, but I always had like some kind of creative outlet that I was trying to like spend my time doing or whatever. And so when my son was a baby, we decided, I had this idea like, oh, I'll make a first year birthday video for him to play at his birthday party, right? And so I would just take some videos here and there. And then about 2 months before he would turn one, my husband and I sat down and he had to teach me how, because he was making videos for his job. So he had to teach me how to like do it and start it or whatever. And so
Hmm.
so that, but then I loved that video so much, like I'd watch that video all the time, and it
Oh,
makes you, you know, feel all the things, and it's,
yes.
you know, you feel so good. And so about the like 6th or 7th month mark with my daughter, where things were kind of slowing down and I started to feel a little bit more like myself again, I was starting to put together videos for her first birthday. And I had all of these videos of my son that were so good and cute. And I was like, why do I have to wait for his second birthday to make this video? Like, why don't I just put these together and make a video of the last couple of months? Like, I'll just put, you know, 50 videos or so and download an illegal song from iTunes and put it in there and edit it and see what happens. And so I did that during nap time one day, and I watched it, and I just lost it. I was just so emotional. And then my son woke up and I showed it to him, and he was like that child would not sit still, and he just sat there and he watched it and was like, again.
Aw.
I played it
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
again, and played it again. And so then I would just make them, you know, month by month by month. And I started to realize that all of those feelings that I was having, where I was like, I'm this terrible mom and I'm depriving my son and all of this, when I got to watch what was actually happening in my life and not when I was stuck in my mud, you know?
Viral.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wow, this, like, I'm actually like, this is okay. Like, he's okay and I'm okay. And like, I'm not ruining him or my children, you know? And so then I started doing it like religiously, like every 2 months, I'd edit a new one. And so in all of that job change, we ended up moving down here where we live now, and I had to leave my job that I love so much, and moved in the middle of the school year, and I couldn't find a job, and so we were like, let's just have you stay at home. And I was like, oh God, I'm bless all the stay-at-home moms, but I have a really hard, I need something to do. Like I need to, work and do that. And so I just happenstance was scrolling on Instagram and had an influencer who was asking questions about what do people do with their videos. And I was like,
Wow.
I'm gonna message her. I had nothing. I had no idea what I was doing. I have no background in business. So I said, I'll edit your videos for
Oh
you.
my
And
God,
she was
that's
like, really,
awesome.
will you? And I said, sure, send them to me. So she sent them to me this vacation, edited it for her, sent it back. And she was like, this is the best thing. This is in 2019 too, by the way. So this is
Wow.
before all of
Mhm.
the stuff. And she was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Do you have a business? And I was like, yeah. And I pulled it out of my, whatever. And that's why it's my name, because I was like, I don't know what to call this. So I was
Oh
like,
my
Isbell
gosh.
Family Films. And I made an Instagram, and then she shared my video and shared about my business. And then that was it. It just exploded. I had probably 50 clients in the first, 10
Oh
hours
my
or so.
gosh.
Like
Oh
it
my
was,
gosh.
yeah, it was nuts. And so I was just chasing this rolling ball.
Mhm.
But I think it's just really impactful when you have something to do with your videos and with your
Right.
memories, right? People were looking for that and needing that, and just happened to be there, in the right time and
Oh
the
my
right
gosh,
place.
I love the story of
Yeah,
that.
so
That
it's
is
been
so
great.
cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, it's been
Yes,
awesome.
because I look at my boys like to go back and look at old films,
Right,
but it's literally just going through my camera roll like back 5 years and we just go video, video. I don't know
right,
why I've never thought to just take all those videos and put them into a year because I do a scrapbook well,
right,
I just throw them all into Shutterfly. I'm like, make my book, but at least we have the pictures. And I'm
right.
like, that's such a good thing to have. They love looking at that. Why don't I do that with
And
video?
we love them, but they're egotistical little things. Like they love to look at
Yes.
their
I used to, when
faces.
I was a kid, I
I
used to
did
look at my
too.
scrapbooks and like
Right.
me as the mom going back, like, oh my God, you were so cute. Oh my gosh, I remember this. It's so fun to look back instead of just
Right.
like losing them on your phone.
Right. And you forget about them and you don't know where they are. They get caught in between screenshots, and it's just, like the
Oh my God.
recipe I screenshotted yesterday, right? And in between the videos and yeah,
So
and then it makes
true.
it easier to take them, right? Like I bet you take way more photos than videos because you're going to make this scrapbook at the end of the year. So it's really easy.
Absolutely.
Like I'll take a picture of you in your Halloween costume, but I would never think to take a video of you in your like
Right.
saying happy Halloween, because
Right.
what are you going to do with that video? But it's
Right.
way easier when you have a purpose, right? When you know your videos are going to go somewhere, then you are more likely to record and think about what kind of things I want to record. Like the one of my favorite videos is my daughter like is tying her shoes before school one day, but then like the year prior, I had a video of her just pulling on her slip-on shoes, like, and it's so fun
Oh,
to watch the way that they grow, because it you don't see it when you're in your day to
day to
day. The
day.
same thing, right? Where I was
Hmm.
feeling like I was a bad mom, but now I don't notice how big they're getting. I haven't noticed how much her
Hmm.
teeth have grown in, or, until I watch the video back, and it's like from January to January. I mean, that girl's lost like 10 teeth since then. She's
Oh
like, her
my
face is
gosh. Yes.
totally different,
Totally
and
change.
yeah, and you don't see that when you're not looking at it all the time.
Right. Right.
You're
Okay.
just,
Now I have a ton of questions.
yeah.
Okay. First thing that came to mind was most of your clients, when they um, hire you, do
Mhm.
they already know ahead of time that they are wanting a video from you, or are they like that person? I have a bunch of videos I want to put together because I'm thinking like I would take videos now differently, knowing I'm going to make them into video, like a full video, as opposed to just like randomly baseball, randomly baseball. So like,
Right.
what do you get? Do you get a little bit of both, or
I do. And I think what I notice is people discover us and they learn that we provide this service, and they're like, oh my gosh, okay. And they dump what
now?
they have. right?
Mhm.
And so they dump it, we edit it, and they're like, now they're super motivated and excited. And so then now they're intentionally taking video in order to get something back. I think the other times when people are really intentional is when they go on a vacation or when they do like a baseball season. Like we do that
Mhm.
all the time where we'll
Oh
like
my God,
recap
so
their sports
cute.
seasons. Those are really, really
I'm already
fun.
thinking like
Um,
coach's gift, like team gifts.
yeah,
That's such a good idea.
yeah, it's really fun to do that. And we return everything on a cloud system, so you can
Okay.
download it and use it however you want. So it makes it really easy to gift.
Okay.
But yeah, so we get a little bit of both, and I still get those clients who don't intentionally take video and they just dump what they have, and I love that too. Like, okay, great, let's
Mhm.
do this, and and I think we pride, and I say we because I have a team of people that I work
Just
that
gonna
I've
ask,
trained.
do you do
Yeah,
it? Okay.
that
Okay.
I've trained and worked with it, and so we love those people too because it's a challenge to like take that video. I love it when people email me back and say, I didn't think there was anything worth saving in here, and you
Oh,
were able to find all those great moments and put them together for me, and this is just the best. Like those are, I love
yeah.
those emails because those are hard videos to make when you're like working really hard to find a great little piece.
Mhm.
And because a lot of times when we don't have a purpose for our video, we're just kind of like taking a 2 minute long video and we're trying to find something good in that moment. But when you have more purpose to it, you know what you're going to do. The video's shorter, it's more intentional, and also you can get back to what you're doing, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to take this video
Yeah.
and now I'm going to get back to watching the baseball game. Or I'm going to take this video and now I'm going to watch the school performance because I
Right.
know this little 5 second
Is
snippet
it?
in my video and I'm done. Yeah, right.
Well, I have this superstition now that every time I film my kids at bat, they strike
Yep.
out. So now I'm
Yep.
like, forget it. I'm not filming anything this year. I'll do the walk up maybe next time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My son
I
plays
refuse.
baseball too, and I'm like, oh, game. I don't know if your team does the game changer where
Yes.
they record
Yes.
the game. I'm like, it's game changer. Fine, I'll just do that. Like I
Right. I know my son got
can't.
his first home run, and all I was able to get, because my phone was in my bag, I was
Yeah,
able to get him just after he crossed home plate. Like
perfect.
everyone cheering. I was like, okay, we got that.
That's good
Wish
enough.
I had that one on video, but
Right.
I would
I'm
have
usually
jinxed
like
it. I
this.
would have
Like I
jinxed it.
can't watch.
Totally, totally. Okay, couple other questions. Vertical or horizontal? Because we all have our phones out. What is better
Right.
to film? Which way?
I'm going to tell you it's your preference. I'm going to
Okay.
say it whatever's going to make you record more video because my goal is I want people to take video of their life. But if aesthetics is important to you, it's important
Mhm.
to me the way things look. I always say to record horizontal
Okay.
because you want to watch these on your TV and our
Yes.
TVs are not oriented like our phones are.
Right.
It if all you want to do is share it on social media and you just want it to be on a reel, then vertical works too. But
Wish they were the
everyone,
same. I can't stand that. Like, why couldn't Instagram just
tell
be the
me,
same way so that
tell me.
everything? Because I started a YouTube channel, and that's the first time I learned, oh, you can turn your phone sideways and you're supposed to film that way. Oh, okay. But then
Right?
turning it into like a reel for Instagram, I was like, this is such a pain. Why can't they all just be the same?
I know it's the worst. It drives me crazy. Yeah, but yeah, it's the worst. The
Can you
other good
do
part
in
about
your video,
horizontal
can you
too.
do both? Like when you
Oh,
edit
yes.
it, it'll just be
Yep.
like the shorter, like the
Right.
border
So when
around.
we do it, we'll put the vertical, well, we like vertical video too, because sometimes we'll do multiple videos on a screen. So if you had like 3 baseball videos, we put them all side
Oh,
by
okay.
side. So you can watch them all at once. We already blur the sides. So we don't leave
Okay.
it like black and white or anything like
Okay.
that and try to fill up the screen as much as we possibly can.
Okay. Another question, lighting. Like this is stuff I don't even think about when I'm filming. Is it better? What's the best way to film? Like in
Yeah.
terms of lighting?
So if you're trying to be intentional about your lighting, then you want to have the light behind you. So the light is on your subject's face.
Okay.
That's the best way to do it. The best at the most, as much natural light as you possibly can. Like if I take videos inside my house and I'm really trying to take something intentional, then I open up all my blinds and I'm like turning
Mm,
everything on and getting as much light as I possibly can. And our phones just stink at low light
yeah.
video. Like it's not really great. But yeah, so I shared something about this too on Instagram a couple months ago where I like had a video of my kids at the beach and I took a video from them from behind where I wasn't in the ocean and the sun was facing me
Okay.
and they were super dark and you couldn't really see them even though it was in Texas in July and it's
The sun's
155
out.
degrees, you know? Yeah, it's so sunny. it didn't look like it. And so then I went in the ocean with my back to the sun and the light on them, and it looked like a completely different day. Like it makes a huge, huge difference where the light is
Okay.
facing.
I need
Yeah.
to keep my eye on that. Think about that. Um, smartphones, or do you get a lot of people who actually have nice cameras when they?
No, mostly just smartphones, and our phones are great. I mean, our phones are powerful devices, right? Like they're awesome. We get a lot of GoPro, which is great. Like
Oh,
we can,
okay.
I tell people if it's recorded in digital format, we can edit it for you. We get old home videos from people where they've digitized their
Yeah.
old videos, you know, and edit those. But yeah, our phones are awesome.
Yeah, what did
And
we
you
do
can edit the
before?
settings. Yeah, right.
I know my uncle had one of those like on the shoulder camcorder,
Yes,
and we
right.
were like, whoa, that's so cool. And I remember they always had videos of themselves as kids. And I'm like,
Yeah,
man, I wish we had had one, but it was like such a rare thing. Now I'm like, everyone has videos of
everyone has it,
every
right?
moment.
It's just right there. You just pick it up and turn it
So
on.
cool.
I'm in the camp of, I think this is great. I think you should have your
Mhm.
phone out. I push back on that mentality of if you have your phone out and you're taking a video or photo, you're not present. Because in my opinion, if I'm taking a video of something, it's important to me and I want to remember it. And I'm actually more in my moment wanting to remember that than not.
Right,
Now, if I'm scrolling Instagram while I'm watching my son's baseball game, of course I'm not there. But
right.
if I'm there recording it because I know he's going to, make a great play, then I'm there.
Mhm.
And I think we should take advantage of that.
These
It's
moments
it's a
we can
privilege,
remember.
really,
Yeah.
to have it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know one thing, I think on your Instagram, I think you were giving examples of just everyday video or videos that you should capture on certain events, like how you were talking about tying your daughter's shoe. Like that's just
Yeah.
like an everyday thing. So what
Yeah.
are some things should think about taking, like, on a vacation or just every day? What are some like things to look out for to film?
Yeah. I my number one tip for people is if you're going to take a photo, just take a video too. So if it's
Okay.
important enough for you to snap a photo, just turn it real quick and take a video. You can also take a photo while you're taking a video, which is I usually do.
Okay.
There's like a little white button in the corner and you just tap it and it takes a screenshot. But I think I love to do, I mean, I'll use myself as an example of like my must-haves. Like I take a video of my kids every year saying how old they are. Like I'm turning, I'm 9 years old, 7 years old. I do a first day of school video every single year, last day of school video every single year. When my kids were little and they said something funny, I would make them say it for me, even if they didn't want to. Like, I don't care. Just
Yes.
take this video for me real quick and
Yeah.
make, like if
Say
they
it
said,
just like that again.
right, exactly. And I actually always tell our editors this, like when we're listening and watching everyone's videos, if you ever hear mom say, can you say that again for me? You know that's important because she wants to remember it, right? Because we all do that, right? I say, can
Mhm.
you please say that again for me? Let's see. I think yeah, those everyday things that we forget when our kids are babies. Like I talk about like their dimples on their hands when their hands are so fat, right? And they're little toddlers,
Yes.
or their features as a baby, or their hair, or like why not take it if we want to remember it?
Yeah.
Vacations, so when I like vacation videos to tell a story. So when I edit for myself or I edit for other people or they ask me that question, I always say like, if you were making this in, like, if you were writing this down, right? Like you were going step by step and writing this as a book, what kind of things would you say and how could you record that? So could you record yourself, or could you record like the sign at Disneyland as you walk in so that you know where you're going, right? You're wanting to like
Oh.
introduce this story. Because I
Mhm.
mean, that's what, not to get too sappy, but like that's what our lives are, right? Like
Yes.
we have stories worth telling and we're living lives that are, good, and we want to share those things. And so if you're going on a great vacation that you want to remember, tell it in a story, have an opener, have a closer, have, if we use Disneyland for an example, like, take a video of every ride that you're going to go on, right? Or there's something called B-roll, which I love to encourage people to
Mhm.
take, which is like all that filler video that doesn't have your subject in it, but it kind of helps establish where you are, what you're doing. If you're at the beach, maybe it's just a video of the beach. And that's what
Mhm.
you can use as like your opening image of your video or something like that.
That's such a great idea. I would never thought like, oh, let's just film the Disney sign. Like
Yeah.
there's no person in that or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
But
such a
there's
good
no
idea.
reason to if you're not doing anything with it, right?
Right.
It just takes up space. That's why it's so great when you have a reason to do those things and it allows you to tell your story
Hmm.
better.
Okay, it made me think of the when you're talking about like everyday things about your babies. I did remember filming each of my babies. I just loved in the morning when you go to get them up and they're like kind of drowsy and then they like see your face and smile and do like that big stretch. I remember thinking I don't want to forget what that looks like and I have a video of each of them, which everyone else is probably like, this is a random video. There's just your
Right.
kid doing this, but I love where they're just like sleepy and then they see your face. They're like, Mom. I'm
Yes.
like,
And
oh,
they're
those
so happy.
videos.
Yeah. They could be screaming bloody murder in their crib and then they see you and they're
Mhm.
like,
It's
oh, yeah,
mom, yes. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, I love that.
that's the
Um,
best.
how many people do you have working for you?
I have eight
Wow.
editors, yeah, from all
Like
over.
as a business mom, this is so impressive. Like I just
Thank
love the
you.
story of like how you just took something you enjoyed doing and created something. That is so cool.
You. I feel really lucky. Like it just all fell in place and I was able to kind of, take it and run with it. But yeah, it's awesome. And I love providing a job opportunity for other moms and all the editors are moms. Like there's how
Mm,
else could you edit for moms if you're not a mom
right,
yourself? You have
right.
to understand what that experience is like for people. So
Do
it's
you
fun.
see a lot though that in these videos mom is not in them? Like, I
Oh,
don't think I have
yes.
any videos of myself
Yeah,
because
I'm
I'm the
I
one
can't
holding
even
it
talk.
and
I'm the worst.
right?
I can't even talk about it, but yeah.
Like,
Or
you had
give
a
people a
great
hard time.
childhood. I
Mhm.
documented it real well.
I was here. Yeah, no, it is. And I have a lot of families who do an awesome job with it. And I have some families where I've edited for them for years and I've never actually even seen mom.
Seen
And it's like,
mom.
well, and I don't ever like to take the like guilt trip stance of like you have to be in this. Like I understand there's lots of reasons why maybe mom doesn't want to be in there, but
Mhm.
um my husband's pretty good at taking video of me if there's a moment that he knows would be sweet. But I've seen a lot of people where they'll set up their phone just off in the corner on a stack of books or something, and then mom comes in the frame and is playing and they're doing what they were going to do anyway, and then she leaves
Yeah.
and turns it off. And like there's people that are really creative with the ways that they figure it out, or asking someone to take a video for you if you're brave.
Mhm.
I'm not that brave, but
Yeah.
like someone at the park, or I have lots of families who are so awesome and creative and they set their phone up on a time lapse while their family is like having a water balloon fight or swimming in the
Cute.
pool, and then everybody's in it, right? It's not very often that everybody
Mhm.
gets to
Yeah.
be in it. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
Neat. Um, why? Okay, so you have a quote or a topic that says why real life moments matter more than perfect
Mhm.
moments. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's so bird pancakes.
Yeah.
We don't have to be perfect. Because
Right.
I always think like I've got to get the perfect shot or I have to look
Right.
okay before I'm in the picture or
Right.
the house shouldn't be a mess when I'm filming. But
Right.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. Right. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, no, I think we live in such, this might be too harsh, but I think we live in such a manufactured world where it's so easy to see everyone else's perfection. Um, but in reality, if I wanted that video where my daughter was doing something cute and my house was a mess, I just shoved it all into the office and that was it. And then it looks like my house is clean, but it's not clean. And
Hmm.
I think that when we record our real stuff and when we share it, because I love to see when my clients share their videos or when my friends share their videos or whatever, and we see that everyone else's life is just like our life, it just relieves all of that burden and pressure that my life has to look like
Hmm.
this content creator who is getting paid to have her house look this clean and she probably is not cleaning it, right? Like,
Probably has
and,
someone helping her
I,
with
hey,
that.
I like when my housekeeper comes a couple times a year, but let's be honest, like you don't want to see this right now. Like it's, my counters are a mess.
Yeah.
And, and I just think that when we're going to remember what we recorded, and whenever I see those shots that I manufactured a little bit, I always kind of remember like, oh, I manufactured this. Like this wasn't totally real. And maybe not everyone's that way, but I kind of always just feel that little bit of extra, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that kind of thing. But I just think it's just important to, the real stuff is the good stuff. Like the real, one of my favorite videos is of my kids on a vacation, and we're just finished a 4-mile hike in New Mexico to get to this what is it? It was like a train track. And I really hope we went with friends, and I really hope the friend is going to listen to this podcast and remember this moment, because she was there. And we were all so just disappointed by this train track. And we were like, God, and they were so hot and tired, but I wanted to take a picture or a video of them at the end. And my daughter's super lovey, and she's like grabbing onto him, and he goes, get off me, and shoves her away. But in the moment, it was annoying, but now it's hilarious. Like that was just them in that moment. We were so tired. And now I'm remembering like what that experience was actually like. And you can look back later and you can have that 300-foot view and be like, yeah, you know, that kind of was uncomfortable in that moment, but that's the way it is. And I can appreciate that that's, you know, who my kids are, and that difficult hike that we had.
This perfect lovey hike that everyone
exactly where they're like, oh, I love you so much.
I'm so tired. Can you carry me?
Why did you take me? I think that was my son was like, why did we even do this?
I'm going to show you this in 20 years. This is going to be a good one. Oh my gosh, how fun. Exactly. How often do you go through your phone and clean up your camera roll? Because I don't feel like I do that enough. And then I feel overwhelmed by how much is on there.
Right. I don't clean it up. I just back it up. So I just back up what I have.
Okay. Yep. I thought you would be like, each month I make a video and then I get that cleaned and I'm all.
Well, I do that. So I don't ever clear off my camera at all. I pay for iCloud so I can have it backed up. And you know, the thing is when we were kids and our moms were developing all the rules of film, they were paying monthly for that too. So why not? Why wouldn't I pay $10 a month to you know, back all this up? So I've got all of it backed up on iCloud, and then every month I download it all and I put it on I edit a video, and then I put it on an external. So I've got an external hard drive. I have my phone, because when my a couple years ago I lost like 6 months worth of and so I'm bad about my photos, but I'm great about my videos. So I have all my videos, but I don't have any of my photos, which is still really sad. Still do the books and all of that too. So but yeah, so that's what I do every month. And you know, if you can make it a habit, it makes it easier to just do it. Just sit down and pay that, you know, $100 for that hard drive and pull it over and then you're done. Right. And then it's there.
Yeah. Do you ever do videos and photos? Do some people like send you photos to add to the videos? Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of families who like that, and they'll forget to take a video at something important, and so they'll put the photo in for that or whatever. But yeah, I have a lot of families that do photos too.
Oh my gosh, what a fun job. I did read somewhere recently that it said using the creative side of your brain helps with like anxiety. And it's like, this just seems like such a cool way of using the creative side of your brain.
Yeah, it is. It's great. I feel lucky. It is just it's the best job. And I get to witness so many beautiful moments in people's lives, like the births of their babies. And like, there's families whose babies were born when I started my company, and now they're like going off to kindergarten or first grade. And it's like,
what a great gift too. Yeah. Like either like for a new mom or like a first birthday. Oh my God, that's such a good gift.
Yeah.
Like
it's a
grandparents. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So tell me a little bit about how, the company runs. Like where do we find you? And then how do you go about like submitting all your stuff and getting a video?
So social media wise, we're on Instagram. It's just at Isbell Family Films. And website is the same thing, isbellfamilyfilms.com. And that's where you can order and find all the different packages that we offer. We offer our packages aren't split up based on what type of video. So it's not like we have like a birthday video, a yearly video. It's based on how long you want your video to be and how much you're going to submit. So all of them have like a cap of you can submit this many videos for this length, and none of them we don't ever include everything. So I have some families that are like, hey, I want everything included. This is how much I have. Like, I'm always available for consultation. Like, I love it when people email me and say, this is what I want. This is what I have. What do I do with it? And then I can advise and give suggestions there. So we do that. And after you purchase, we send you lots of emails that help you understand how you can share. If you back up on cloud-based systems, Google, Amazon, Dropbox, iCloud, you can share links through there. If you don't back up that way, then we have a secure online portal that works like a Google Drive. It's not Google Drive, but it works like that, where you can submit your photos or videos. And then that's also how we return it. So you have access to that. Nobody has any access to it other than me and you. And so then when you're done, when I'm done, I give you the video back. And then you can download it, put it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We only use legal licensed music, but it's good music. It's none of that elevator crap. Like, it's good stuff. And so we use legally licensed music, so you can share it. It's never going to get taken down or flagged or anything like that, which is also really helpful. We also have a Spotify, which I think sometimes people really like, that I curate a lot of our music. So we use so many different libraries. We have probably 10,000, 20,000 songs that we could use, but I've curated it down into our favorites. But our Spotify is the same, Isbell Family Films. So you can listen to music on there too. If you like
cool. I didn't even think to look that up on Spotify. That's really cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like I now need to be more intentional about the videos I take, because I just haven't really thought about them, but I loved it. I always like talking about it. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I hope everyone goes out and finds your website and your company, because this is so
we'll
cool.
be here. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moms, let's get our phones out. Let's start taking those horizontal videos and getting in front of the camera. I think now I have a really good idea of things that I could take videos of that I just never really thought of before. And I'm kind of determined to put together maybe a yearly video for my family. So I love that Kaylee inspired this conversation. And I love just chatting with her about how her motherhood journey inspired this phase in her life. I think it's so, so cool. If you enjoyed this podcast, I would love it if you shared it with a friend, if you left me a review and kept listening. So I look forward to seeing you and talking to you next week. And I want to remind you that everyone burns their first pancake, so just keep flipping.